Hey guys, Kylie here, and I just put out some Procreate brushes onto my online shop, and I thought I would make a video showing you how to download those brushes, import them into Procreate, and then begin using them, how I designed you to use them. So let's go ahead and get started. I suggest purchasing the brushes from a laptop or a desktop computer because that is the easiest way that I know of to do this. If you're purchasing from the iPad directly, make sure that you are not using the Etsy app. I've actually heard that you should delete the Etsy app and then purchase through Etsy on Safari or Chrome, however you browse the internet on your iPad. Once you're prompted to download the brushes, it will ask you to open them in Procreate, and that's it. That's all you need to know. But I want to show you how to do this for a desktop or laptop computer, and it's super, super easy. So once you purchase from Etsy, you will be taken to a download page, and you will download those files onto your laptop or your desktop, whichever one you're using, just like you would any other file, downloadable file from Etsy. For future downloads, you'll also receive an email to the email address that you use with Etsy that will have download links to the files as well if you want to wait and use that link. Once you download the files to your laptop or your desktop, however you're doing that, you then want to find a way to transfer them onto your iPad, and there's two ways I know of that you can do that really, really easily. The first way is to email yourself the files and then open them up on your iPad, or you can airdrop the files to your iPad if you're using Apple products. So I'm going to show you both ways of doing that, but first let's do how to email yourself the files. So you would obviously do that from your desktop computer, and I actually sent these files to my friend yesterday to test out, so I'm just going to show you what that looks like. So I've opened up the email, and the email just has the 3 files attached at the bottom. I've already installed this one, so I'm just going to show you how easy it is. You'll literally just click tap to download, then tap it again, and it will prompt you to open in or copy to Procreate. So you'll simply click that button, and then it is already there. So to find out where it is, we're going to just start a new file in Procreate. And then when you click on brushes, you'll see that it's right there. So this is the dynamic brush by Kylie Bennett, and it will show up in your imported folder because all brushes that you import into Procreate automatically go into this folder. So let's go ahead and do that for the other 2 brushes, and then I'll show you how to create a new folder of Procreate brushes where you can stick all these Kylie Bennett brushes for easy access. So let's go back to our email. I'm gonna go ahead and install this one again, copy to Procreate, and there it is above the dynamic brush. So let's go back to email, tap to download, tap again, copy to Procreate. Okay, so all these 3 brushes are here, and I want to find a way to put these into their own folder so that I don't have to dig through my imported brushes to find it. So I'm just gonna go over here to brushes, and if you pull down, you'll see a plus sign here. So I'm just gonna tap on the plus sign, and it'll prompt you to give it a name. So I'm just gonna call them Kylie Bennett. It's pretty easy. Then go back to your imported brushes folder, and you can use your finger or your Apple Pencil and simply, I don't think my Apple Pencil is charged actually, so we're just gonna hold and we're gonna go click over to Kylie Bennett until you see that it moves that over there. Moved it into, there we go. So go back to imported, drag and hold until that folder kind of blinks a little bit. It's kind of fickle. There we go. Go back to import, drag that last one here. Let's see if I can get it right the first time. Nope. There we go. Now we've got all 3 there for super easy access. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like when you airdrop the files to yourself. Okay, to airdrop files on your computer, your laptop, you'll want to right click on the file in your downloads folder on your desktop, wherever you have it. Click share and then click airdrop. And then you'll find your device. You can't actually open the brush up on your computer, on your laptop, like you could a photo or a file that you're gonna airdrop. So that's just a little quick tip. And then it'll just show up on your iPad as you've airdropped it. You just wanna click accept, and then it's imported. If you've got Procreate open already, that is all you have to do. So let's go ahead and see in our imported brushes, my dynamic brush is already there, and you would just want to repeat that process for the remaining 2 brushes. So that's literally how easy it is to import and download brushes into Procreate. Once again, if you're doing this from your iPad, just make sure you don't have the Etsy app installed and you are downloading from Safari or Google and completing the purchase through there, because that'll be easiest for once you download that file, it'll immediately prompt you to open it in Procreate. Super, super easy. So now I want to go ahead and show you how to use these brushes as I've designed them. So I'm just going to work from this folder, Kylie Bennett brushes. Let's first make sure my pencil is ready to go. Okay, first let's start with the classic brush. I love this brush. It's designed to kind of mimic the look of the Fudenosuke soft tip pens by Tombow, which are my favorite pens. And I like to use this, I mean, for your brush size, you can really go as big or small as you want. It doesn't really matter, but the small brush size is gonna be super small and super delicate. So for me, I would never go that small, but you absolutely can. So I'm gonna move it up to the middle just so we can see pretty easily. For this one, you can have your streamline turned up as little or as much as you want. As a general rule for myself, I always like to have my streamline turned up to about 75% because I find that it still keeps my strokes looking like me, and they're not so neat and clean because of the streamline. And if you never used streamline before, it's an awesome feature on Procreate. You just tap into the brush that you've chosen, and streamline will kind of clean up your stroke for you as you're writing it. So definitely play around with that if you've never done that before. So I'm just going to go ahead and write the standard letter A. So I love this brush because to me this looks like just a classic calligraphy brush, and it has these little squared tips on it that I haven't really found in that many other brushes, especially the ones that are already in Procreate. So I like the classic, clean, simple look that this sort of has. And it is obviously pressure sensitive, like most calligraphy brushes in real life and on Procreate are. So that means the harder you press into the screen, the wider your stroke will be, and you can get a really thick stroke. Then obviously as you're moving up, you want to make sure to press really gently so you get a thin stroke. But I love how thick and thin you can really get this stroke here in the classic brush. Now let's move on to trying out the dynamic brush. This brush is very similar to the classic brush, but it is meant to be kind of chunkier and a little bit crazier and messier and not as traditional, and I really like this. So I would definitely keep your brush size up a little bit larger. I would keep your streamline on around 75 to 80% or more, I guess, if you like it. It's very pressure sensitive, so if you have it down any lower, it's going to show all the shakes and all of the mistakes and stuff that you make when you're lettering. At least it does for me. But I definitely love this brush because you can get such a huge variety of stroke sizes. My iPad does this and it drives me nuts. I definitely suggest playing around with this brush and playing around with using really thick strokes and then really thin strokes in your lettering, and like combining the two, because that is something that I find really fun about this brush, and it does take a little bit of practice, but you can, I'm going to turn streamline down just a little bit, but you can do some like really fun, like super messy lettering with this brush. So I really enjoy it for this purpose. I'm actually going to move it down just a little bit and show you what it looks like at a smaller size. Yeah, this mimics a little bit more of the Tombow dual brush pen size in my opinion, and I just like how crazy you can kind of get with this. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm writing the word mom, but it looks really good, doesn't it? Okay, So that's a little bit about the dynamic brush. Now let's move on to textured ink brush. This one is also, you know, your standard pressure sensitive calligraphy brush, but it's rounded at the tips and it has a little bit of texture going on, so it's really fun. And this to me also is kind of a crazier looking fun calligraphy brush to kind of step out of that traditional zone and do something a little bit different. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I don't know why my iPad does that. Text, put it on 2 different lines. So you can see that this has the rounded tips and it also has just like a little bit of texture going on there at the top and around the edges. So it's not enough that, you know, it would be anything distracting or it'd be anything too crazy, but it's just enough that you can kind of see it and it looks really neat. Let's draw the word brush. And for me, there is no real, you know, size limit or streamline limit that you would want to have for this. I love the texture here at the bottom of this H. It just looks so good to me. And I think this would be an awesome brush if you're making a logo for somebody, if you're doing something for a birthday party, something real fun and cool, this would be an awesome brush. So that is how to download, import, and begin using the My Favorite Brush Pen pack from my online shop. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you later. Bye.